I'm gonna take 900 RGB LEDs, which give off the light equivalent to 30, 40-watt light bulbs. That's enough light to illuminate an entire house. And I will take these 900 LEDs and line them inside of a 3D printed icosahedron. Then it will wear on my head and fill with one-way reflective mirrors, so that instead of seeing my face, you will see an infinite cosmos of RGB LEDs reflecting to fractaline infinity. But on my end, all I'm gonna see is... To power this retina scalding D20, I'm gonna use high-powered lithium iron phosphate batteries. I think I'm gonna need at least 6 of them, I'm not sure. And I'm gonna put these into my, of course, RGB backpack. And I don't think I could transport this on a plane because there's concerns of... I have no idea if this is gonna work, but because I'm an educator, author, and former scientist, my primary concern is teaching you cool science. So I'm gonna give you the cool build montage stuff, but I'm also gonna teach you some really cool things, from how light bulbs are measured incorrectly, to how you could get started in 3D modeling and the tricks I use to make this easier. And hopefully I'll teach you how to wire something like this without starting yourself on fire. An icosahedron is a fascinating shape, and because it's the official shape of the band Odesza, it's also the official shape of my heart. To 3D model the icosahedron, I'm going to use Fusion 360. My students and I use the free version to make the 3D printed parts in all our builds. I know learning a software like this can be intimidating, but if I can teach it to kids as young as 9. Hit I for inspect.
I for inspect, Will.
I want you to click. You can learn this too. If you are curious, I have a tutorial that teaches Fusion 360 to absolute beginners in the link right now. You'll not only learn the software, but you'll learn how to make an infinity cube that you can 3D print and have for yourself. I won't have time, nor do I think you'll care to see how I modeled the entire icosahedron helmet, but let me show you a couple of tricks I used to get started. I first draw a pentagon using the Draw a Polygon tab. And then I draw a line coming out from one of the vertices. Now I repeat, connecting the other vertices to the line I just drew. Now watch this. All I have to do is set the lengths of these lines equal to the length of any side of the pentagon. And boom, look at that. We've made a whole section of our icosahedron, and all the angles are perfect. When you really master any 3D modeling software, you can make pretty much anything.
This canvas, you're the creator. Anything that you want, you can build here. This is your world. Your dreams come real here.
All right, now it's time to start building this. I modeled it so that the whole thing will just slide together. And as I build it, we're going to give you an update from the puppy cam. Puppy cam check. Oh, give me that. No, 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 no. And there you have it. Stage 1 just put together. Here we see a standard incandescent bulb with a brightness rating of 40 watts. The 40 watts is not a measure of the brightness, it is a measure of the amount of power going through the cord and into the bulb. most of that energy is not converted to light. Most of that energy is lost as heat. Here, I have an LED bulb, which puts out the light equivalent to a 40-watt incandescent, but it only uses 5 watts of power. How do I know they output the same amount of light? Well, that is based off the measurement called lumens. Imagine a sphere drawn around this bulb. Lumens is a measure of the amount of photons collected within that sphere. These two bulbs use vastly different amounts of power, but they output the same amount of photons, and thus their lumens and brightness is the same. So if you can, replace incandescents with LEDs. You get the same amount of light, but you use 1/8 as much energy and money. Now it's time to wire our LED strips. If you understand the basic principles on how to wire this, you can wire anything like servos, potentiometers, pretty much anything in hobby electronics. What's cool about these LED strips is you can cut them in specific places so that you can make any shape you want. But please don't go cutting your Christmas lights. Here, we see an overhead view of a LED strip that's been pre-cut. You have your negative, which is labeled ground, your positive, which is labeled 12 volts, and your signal line, which is labeled D. By the way, the D stands for D's. If you want to wire something like a servo, it obeys the same principles. You have your positive, which is red, your ground, which is your brown, and your signal line, which is yellow. These LED strips introduce two critical problems. The first is that they don't bend too well. I can't just stick these inside of the icosahedron as is. It'll look terrible. So I need to cut this large LED strip into individual strips that I'll place inside the icosahedron and solder together, ground to ground, power to power, signal to signal, 25 times. The second problem is that the LED strips can't branch out. It needs to move in one continuous line. I only have two outputs coming from my controller. So the question is, how do I create two continuous, non-overlapping lines that cover the entire icosahedron? The solution I came up with is represented by these two different colored wires. This took me a couple weeks to figure out, and I'm not joking when I say I took this thing with me everywhere as I worked on the solution. No, that's my wire. No, that's my icosahedron.
Are you still working on that? It's late.
You're right. Okay, sorry. Bedtime, I get it. All right, it's time to start wiring and soldering this thing. It's gonna take a little bit. All right, changing plans. I did successfully solder one wire across two LED strips. That took me about 15 minutes. I have to do this 150 times. This is not feasible. So instead, I have a connector here. I feed wire into the connector, crimp it on the LED strip, and this makes a smooth electrical contact. I'm gonna try to cross these two first and see if it works as proof of concept, and we'll go from there. Genuine moment of truth here. Turn it on. Damn, I flipped the polarity. I flipped the polarity like an idiot. Moment of truth part 2. Ah, why not? Oh, the connection is not great. I gotta be conscious of that, but it works. Okay, just finished crimping it. It didn't work that great out of place. Let's see if it works inside too. Moment of truth. Oh my God. Ow. Okay. 25 more times. Let's go. So I just finished wiring this and I wanted to capture my raw reaction to it. I tried it on once, to be fair. This thing is so absurdly bright. So let me turn it on. Now, there's a problem here. There's a power limitation right now. You guys can't see this, but some of these LED strips are coming off as yellow because I'm drawing as much power as I can through this one power adapter. I actually need to spike it and give it power in multiple places. I'll fix that later. But I just want you to see what this looks like on a human being's head. It's just stupid. All right, we're almost there. All we gotta do is put the mirrors in like so. Ta-da! All right, build's done. When I put all the pieces together, you're gonna find it Mondo cool.
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.